Alright. Yo, what's going on, you guys? It's your boy 3 Stacks in this thing, baby, representing Team Kings of Games. And today I'm going to be showcasing you guys some really awesome and explosive pendulum combos. Now, you would have to play certain cards that I'm playing for these combos to be valid. In addition to that, a lot of these combos can make boards before you even commence with the pendulum summon, which is ridiculously overpowered. In addition to that, because you can commit to so many different link plays, summoning Oppo and things of that nature in Celine before you even pendulum summon. Sometimes before you even normal summon. Keep in mind that pendulum is a combo based deck, and because you always need 2 cards to pendulum summon, sometimes it's just not feasible to see a 2 or 3 card combo, especially with Electromite being banned. Obviously there were 2 card combos before Electromite got banned, but now with the deck losing Electromite, you need a bit more resources. So these cards are going to be 3 plus 4 card combos. Sometimes 5 is just a discard outlet for pendulum call, but yeah, it's really just, this is what it is. But you guys are going to see some really crazy explosive boards. Pendulum is just such an overpowered and broken deck. Honestly, it's ridiculous. Like, no matter how many times it gets nerfed or hit on the ban list, Master Rule 4 being implemented, the link format was to nerf pendulums. It still thrives and continues to show that it's here to stay. It's not going anywhere. Definitely check the link description box below. You'll see so many ways you can support my channel by donating or becoming a member of Patreon. Patreon.com/3STACKZ. 3 stacks with a Z. That's how you can get to my Patreon. Once I get 10 patrons, I will start doing Patreon only content for certain patrons that definitely do deserve it for even supporting me. I do also have Team Kings of Games t-shirts, mediums and larges, and they come in the color black for $25 a pop. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get to these combos. So I play, in my list, I play 3 Cerberus, I play 3 Endymions, 3 Magisters. There's certain cards that I play at 3. I play 6 Pendulum Calls now. So there's certain cards that I see a lot more often. So if you want to see these cards, see these hands that that I'm going to be showing you, you might want to up your percentage by increasing the amount of cards that you play in your deck that get you access to these cards. So combo number 1, I'm going to show you guys a really cool, it's a 3 card combo, but you can add a 4th card to make it incredible. But I'm just going to show you when you have the 4th card so you guys can see the absolute maximum, the best result. So it's going to be Serb, Magister, Providence, and Mastery. Alright, so what you're going to do here, so we're going to start this combo off by activating Mythical Beastmaster Cerberus in your scale. You're going to use his effect to destroy him. You're going to go ahead and search out a copy of Jackal King from your deck to your hand. You'll then go ahead and activate the Jackal King, destroy it, special summon the Master Cerberus into your extra monster zone. The next thing you're going to do, you're not actually going to scale the Magister yet. You are going to activate Mastery first. It's really important you do this. So you're going to go ahead and give him 3 counters because you're going to need to give Servant that extra counter. So you're going to have to do it in this order unless you pretend the 5th card in your hand is a spell that you can activate. So just keep in mind, because Electromite is banned, there's a lot more RNG factors to Pendulum. You have to play a lot of draw spells, a lot of search spells to get you access to the combo pieces you need, because Electromite can no longer just send them to your extra deck and add them. So just keep in mind always, whenever you're doing combos and Pendulums, you really should just play out your hands as if you have 5 cards, because that's the best way to do it. So just do your solitaire hands. So you should always take the cards you need for the combo sequence and draw 2 random cards next to it, and it'll always make it a lot better. So you resolve Mastery. Next thing you're going to do is activate Servant and Scale. Move that Cerberus to 5. You're going to activate Magister and Scale. Servant's going to go to 1 counter. This is just going to keep loading up. Even though he's not going to need the counters for this combo sequence, you're going to activate Zephyr Providence, which is going to bump this up to 2 counters, this up to 9, and this up to 1. It could be Providence, Terraforming, or Set Rotation. It'll be the same exact result. Add your Oracle of Zephyr. And then you're going to go ahead and activate your Oracle of Zephyr. Just keep loading your counters. Cerberus has just so many counters right now, it's ridiculous. Servant's at 3, Magister's at 2. And you're actually going to search out a copy of Zephyrath. The reason why you want to search out Zephyrath is because you're going to draw a lot of cards. I'm going to shuffle my deck so that you can see the cards you draw off of the 4-card combo. Because as long as you draw a scale, you can always scale Zephyrath in any high or low scale, and he can make himself a high or a low scale with his effect. So it's better to search him, because it's pretty much guaranteed. If you search Zephyr Neo right now, you have to bank on drawing the right scales to actually Pendulum summon him. But searching Zephyrath guarantees that you have complete scales, because you're going to draw 3 cards off of this combo alone. So you're guaranteed to draw a scale, and if not, a spell that searches it. And one of your 6 Pendulum calls would be incredible as well. Next thing you're going to do is just go ahead and remove 3. You're going to go ahead and resolve Servant. So let's actually, yeah, we'll keep her there for now. And the cards you're going to special off Servant. You can special any monster that can hold spell counters. So for this combo sequence, you're going to go ahead and get out your Abductor. You're going to put a counter each on these. Whew, need a lot of dice. So 1 counter on this, 1 counter on Abductor. I'm no longer going to keep adding counters to the serve because he's already served his purpose at this point. The next thing that you're going to do is you're going to take that serve with all those chunky counters and this servant, link these 2 spellcasters into Crowley. Keep in mind you have a normal summon, so you're going to use him, reveal 3. Ideally, you want the 2 better options instead of the knowledge so that you can keep him. So let's just say the best case scenario happens, you search for your secrets or your blue boy. It could be either or, so it doesn't really matter. Whichever one I see first. Okay, secrets. So you'll grab your secrets, you're going to activate it. This will go to 3, this will go to 2. And no matter what, even if you only hit knowledge, for example, you can still activate the, you can still activate the knowledge, send off the Crowley, draw 2, and you can still activate this, give her the 3rd counter. But ideally, you do want the secrets, you really do. It works better to get secrets, or if you get the blue boy, because you did not normal summon for this combo. So you're going to add the blue boy. You're going to go ahead and normal summon him. Use his effect to search out your spell book of knowledge. And you're going to go ahead and activate knowledge, bump her to 3, and Magister is going to actually go to 4 now. Send him off, draw 2. So I'm going to keep them face down until the end where you see if they're scales or not. Because all that matters is that they're scales. It doesn't really matter what kind of scales they are. You're going to remove 3 counters from Abductor to go ahead and search your Magician Soul. I don't have a Magician Soul, so I'm proxying mine. The next thing you're going to do, I should have summoned Abductor here and the Servant there, but it's okay. You're going to reveal the Magician Soul. You're going to send a copy of Endymion from your deck to your grave. Special the Soul. Then you're going to activate Soul on summon on field, not on summon, on field, to send off your Oracle and draw a 3rd card. So like I said, you drew 3 cards off of it. And you can go ahead and resolve Magister, remove 3. Special the Magister here. And from your extra deck, go ahead and summon out the Jackal King. They both get a counter. And from here, let's check and see what cards we drew. So we drew one of the Pinnacle Calls, and we drew a Terraforming, which is nuts. So that's the Terraforming is crazy because I play Citadel in this list. So wow. Okay, this is so now knowing that what the dead card was, you would definitely discard this also off of the Soul. If it wasn't drawn off of the Soul. But let's say this was drawn off the Soul, then this is just there for your next turn. But if this was drawn off of the Knowledge play, you would have sent this and the Oracle off of the Magician Soul. So you have scales no matter what. Like I said, it's either going to be scales or spells that search them. So you do have the Pendulum Call, which is crazy. So you can Pendulum Summon, but I can show you guys that this combo, you don't even need a Pendulum Summon to end on a nutty board. So you can keep those there and play things out like this. You can go ahead and take this Magician Soul and the Crowley link, and you're going to summon out your Selene. Since I don't have Selene out of an entire case of Dual Overload, I still didn't pull Selene. I'm going to pretend my Daybreaker is a Selene. So this is Queen of Master Magicians. She's going to gain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 counters. And honestly, I would say this to maximize it, since it wasn't RNG and you were going to draw off of it no matter what. You could just activate the Duelist Alliance, for example, and make it more nutty. So we can play it off both instances where you didn't draw Alliance and where you did, but either way, you play 6 pin calls, so it's very likely that you, like I even mentioned it before, that you're going to draw it, but you can just summon Selene with 6 counters, but I'm just going to be greedy and go ahead and activate the Alliance. Or matter of fact, no, I'm not going to be greedy. Let's just keep it with the cards that we started off with the combo. But like I said, you did guarantee to get a scale, so I'm going to play that out so I can show you what you do after. Because you don't even pin summon for this combo unless you draw a scale, which you're guaranteed. Because Zephyr can be high or low. All you need to do is make sure one of these 3 cards is a scale. That's all that matters. So anyways, link the Magician Soul and the Crowley into the Selene. She's going to gain 6 counters. And so even with just ending your board just like this, you can use Selene to summon out Endymion by removing 3. And I would say remove, because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, she removes from the field. So I would honestly remove 2 from her and 1 from the Magister, because he doesn't need counters for his effect. He just removes for your field as well. He actually removes 3 counters from your field. So the cool thing is, you have just enough counters on your field right now. I forget she gets one when you activate the Zephyrath. So you have just enough counters on your field right now to resolve both your Magister effect, also your Jackal King effect. And in addition to that, since you activated the Zephyrath with the Adductor on field, you actually do get the target that you don't really, like you want an expendable target for your Endymion, so you get something to interact with Endymion. So even if you don't Pendulum Summon, you get 1, 2, 3 forms of disruption. So keep in mind, since, let's say for example, you know, she's pretty much done for, Selene doesn't have really any more good valid targets. And if you wanted to make like a crazy board, you could just theoretically take these two and then link them into an Appaloosa to just make the board that much more formidable. You can do that, or seeing as these are two spellcasters, you can link both of these into Union Carrier. So there's so many different things you can do with this combo sequence. It's actually really crazy. So just be careful which one you're targeting. So if you target the Jackal King, then you definitely are going to want to just be mindful that the spell counter you remove for Selene, if you're taking this sequence, you want to remove all your spell counters from Selene. So just keep that in mind that way so that you can use her for link material. That's if you plan to do Union Carrier. You remove 3 of her 6 from her instead of removing from anywhere. Just remove directly 3 from her since you're going to send her to the grave. And use her spellcaster and a spellcaster, link them both into Union Carrier. So that will keep the counter, so that way you can still make that play. And like I said, you have spells no matter what. It doesn't matter if it's a skill or spells. You're going to load Jackal King so that he has enough counters to use his effect, and you can use Magister and use Endymion. So you can go ahead and activate the Union Carrier, and I will target the Jackal King since he's the biggest monster. And you also get to do, without Pendulum Summoning, you get to do all of this to your opponent. You're going to take the Destruction Sword, and you're going to go ahead and equip it to the Jackal King. And now you've locked your opponent out of their extra deck, only their extra deck, and you still have 3 forms of interaction on your opponent. That's one way you can end it, or you can end it the Opal way, you know, Opal for 2. And also keep in mind, same combo sequence, we take it back. Like, remember what I was saying, what happens if you actually do draw any scale, which is guaranteed you're playing Pendulums. All your spells are either scales, or every card you could draw is either a scale or basically a spell that searches a scale. So same sequence, we're at this point of the combo. We're going to put the Abductor back on the field because this is what the board is looking like right now. So you're going to take the Magician's Soul and the Crowley Link. And remember, I drew one of the 6 pin calls. So if you play it off of, you know, the RNG factor, because you draw 3 cards, which is nuts, you can go ahead and activate the Duelist Alliance. That's going to go up to 3. She's going to actually jump up to 2 because she did have a counter. Basically, the Selene... Oh yeah, so we're going to actually keep it there too. Since you're doing the RG factor, you're going to make sure your Selene gets as many counters as possible. So you go ahead and activate the Duelist Alliance. Search for the pin call. The terraforming is just so free because you could have searched Citadel, but we're just going to use the pin call, keep the rest of the cards in hand for, you know, just to be there. So these are just there right now, right? Like, you can go for Citadel and just overdo it, but I'm just showing you guys what happens if you draw a scale. And pin call is incredible because it's any scale. So you can go ahead and pin call, discard those. So he's going to jump up to 5. That's going to jump up to 3. And I would always go for Harmonizing. And obviously your low scale, because now this is going to be a really busted field. This is 3 stacks Pendulums, you guys. And remember, I really play this deck. I topped a whole bunch with this deck. I topped multiple competitive events, Nationals, PPGs, RNG, ARGs. I said RNG, I'm over here. RNG, that's so funny. ARGs, PPGs, Nationals, and Regionals with Pendulums. So I've done so much with Pendulums. It got to a point where I was like, all right, let's just start playing other decks now. So we're here in the combo sequence where we've got the scale that we need, which means the board's just ridiculous. It's too nutty, right? So you can go ahead and link those two. Well, we can activate that. Why not, right? Because now Selene's just going to get too much. So your Jackal King is just too many counters, right? Way too many. So now we're going to link those into my Selene. Selene's going to go ahead and gain the 1, 2. Remember, I'm still not going to go for Citadel because that's just doing too much. Because who says that we're going to draw? You're more likely to draw one of the 6 pin calls than you are to draw the 1 terraforming or the 1 set rotation. So Selene's getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 counters. So we can go ahead and put the... This is ridiculous, you guys, honestly. This is Pendulums with Electromite Band, Serpent at 1. all these nerfs and all these hits to the Pendulum mechanic, and it's just not enough. Like, you just never kill this deck. So Celine can go ahead and remove 3. And you'll special out the Endymion. So we just took it a couple steps back. Same sequencing, basically, just if you draw scale. We happen to draw one of the 6 Pendulum calls, which is just showing you guys ridiculousness, right? So we can actually end the board right here, but it's just you just want all the sauce, right? So you can go ahead and take the Celine and the Magical Abductor, because you're basically done with that. And this is crazy, right? You can actually make Union Carrier off of the Celine and the Magical Abductor. This is absolute nonsense, you guys. This is just way too good, right? So you can make the Union Carrier right now, or what I would do honestly is oh my goodness, this is just too much sauce, right? So Jackal King, even though Jackal King is incredible and has so many counters right now, if you want to get everything out to be able to actually like pin out your whole hand and do a really nutty board, I'm just gonna say let's just do this, right? Let's just go ahead and take the Jackal King and we summon the Appaloosa, right? So we summon the Oppo for 3. And your opponent couldn't really, like, we're not going to say we're playing around all kinds of stuff. We're just going to show you guys the most optimal board. Like, basically being able to get everything that you making everything that you can possibly make. So the next thing you're going to go ahead and do is obviously you're going to pin. So you're going to use Zephyrath. Send the Zephyr Niu. And I don't know if I want to keep Magister or the Jackal King. If you guys want to keep the Jackal King, you could leave him there and just send off the Magister. I kind of just like Magister a lot because he gives me anything I want. So if you guys don't like Magister, you could send him off, leave the Jackal King there for whatever odd reason, even though the Oppo's there. But it makes sense. This is still a card that can hold counters regardless, but if you just want to leave the maximum amount of negates, you can also do that. So just keep in mind that there's so much options with what you can do. It really, you'll start to get decision anxiety where you're like, what do I want to do? What do I want to make, right? So then you're going to go ahead and pin this from your extra, the Harmonizing out, do that effect to search your counter trap, and this effect to special. So what I would do here, we already have Endymion on field. You can summon a second copy of Celine as well. That's what's just so good. But we're going to be a little bit more reserved because Oppo's already up there in the extra monster zone. So I would say use the Harmonizing Magician to go ahead and summon out a level 7. So let's summon out the Dragon Pit. Or better yet, I'm going to keep the Endymion. See, that's the beauty too, because this is a sequence I was thinking. Okay, we can summon level 7. That's Absolute. That's IP Masquerena, so that we can, in the board, basically, like, okay, where you go Meteor Burst. You don't even have to go Meteor Burst for this sequence. You can go Absolute. Link these two in the IP Masquerena. You can use the IP and this to link on your opponent's turn to trigger the Vortex, the bounce effect to negate, summon your link. There's just too much sauce for this deck, right? There's just too much this deck can do. But what you also can do is just summon out your level 3 with Harmonizing. See how this combo is so ridiculous that it gives you a ton of different ending boards. You can do Union Carrier. It's just way too good. There's just too much sauce, you guys. So then you can go ahead and sync. Like I'm telling you guys right now, like you guys are seeing all the different options. It's really overpowering, and sometimes it can be like, what do I want to get? What do I want to get? You can summon the Meteor Burst, effect targeting the Dragon Caller to special summon it, and then you obviously overlay those into your Absolute, and then you take your Absolute and your wait, I forgot to grab my counter trap. I was searching for it, and then I just like didn't grab it for some reason. Then you link these two. You summon your IP Masquerena, effect of Absolute to summon out Vortex, and basically the amount of negations you have, let's see, we got 1, well let's just count the interruptions, 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 interruptions, but in the terms of just hard negations, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or if you just count this as one singular, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 negations. It's just too much, you guys. It's just way too much. And keep in mind, this is not even like you could do so much. Remember, I showed you guys you can do Union Carrier. I showed you guys that you can end the board with Celine. Like you could have summoned another copy of Celine. You could have just held it mid combo and then overlaid this same Endymion into the level 7, and then use basically, like, this could have not been Oppo, this just could have been any other link, like for example any other link, then you could have overlaid the Endymion and the level 7 to do Absolute and link it to another Celine, summon Vortex, bring this back off of the Celine. There's way too much that you can do with this deck, it's ridiculous. So that's where you just gotta be careful that when you're playing a deck that has so many engines like the Magicians, the Endymions, the Zephyrs, and the Mythical Beast, there can be sometimes a tad bit of decision and anxiety where you're like, oh my gosh, which best, like, what's the best board? So all the ways that you can end your board that I showed you guys, you would have to make that decision on your own, which board that you end on would be the most optimal, because you still could have summoned Shooting Rhizar instead of the Meteor Burst off of the Harmonizing play. You could have used Rhizar to dump a copy of Magister, and then you basically, that's where you could have just made another Celine on your opponent's turn, use the Celine to bring back the Magister that you dumped off of the Rhizar, and then use the Magister, summon something from deck, and then use the Rhizar and the Magister to synchro into a Dawn Dragster on your opponent's turn. It's just, there's too much that you can do just off that one combo, because you just draw 3 cards. So now I'm going to show you guys another combo. So basically these combos are when you draw the ideal hand. So let's see, another combo. This is a really cool combo, right? This is like a nice 3-card combo, basically. So if you open Terraforming, Set Rotation, Zephyr Providence, Oracle, it doesn't really matter. So I just like showing Providence, for example. If you open Dragon Shrine or Darkworm, you have 2 of each. So Darkworm is the most optimal to draw of the 2 shrines and the 2 Darkworms. This could be a really nice 3-card combo for your deck. The other 2 cards that you add in are totally up to you. But you gotta obviously just start off by Pin Call Darkworm. Just that alone is already incredible. But you can also Dragon Shrine to the Darkworm and Pin Call discarding the Gate 0. But we're just gonna show you the most optimal way, because you play 2 Darkworm, 2 Dragon Shrine, so it's totally, whichever one you draw. Obviously this is the better of the 4. So you're gonna go ahead and search out White Wing Magician and Harmonizing Magician, and then special summon your Darkworm. His effect's going to search for Gate 0. Yeah, that combo is just crazy, you guys, honestly. Like, the combos in this deck, like, Pendulums have they're just always going to be overpowering. Like, going first or second, there's just too much critical mass, too much spamming that happens with this deck. Even without Pendulum summoning itself, you spam so much already. Like, it's very hard for a lot of decks to keep up. Winda's not enough. Like, one Master Cerberus can just banish the Winda or force the Ale to be activated again. You can just still, no matter what, Master Cerberus will always out Winda, because even if you miss the target for banish and they they fuse to another fusion, you can still just attack over it. So Master Cerberus just dominates the shit all matchup. Like, even if it's Mechaba, you could just declare an attack on the Winda, main phase 2, effect to banish the Mechaba, force out 2, just clear 2 cards with 1 Master Cerberus is crazy. But anyways, then you're gonna, do your Zephyr stuff. Oracle, and you're gonna get Zephraf, and you're gonna keep that as is. So the cool thing is you can just normal summon and then link into a link to and then pin summon out your hand. But I'm gonna just play it out this way. Where we go, these are like kind of your secondary best 2 scales. You have a lot of incredible scales in this deck, but when you don't draw any Endymion cards or Mythical Beasts, these are the best scales with a hand that doesn't have a bunch of spell counter monsters and that doesn't make Celine. But this hand can make Celine. It's just the thing is you have to just do too much to make it, and it's not gonna be. There's too much diminishing value that's in it. It's basically marginal diminishing. So you're gonna use Zephyr to send your Zephyr Neo from your extra deck, from your deck to your extra deck. And then you're going to go ahead and pin out your whole hand. And you can chain block with these, which is just really cool. So you're going to grab your counter trap, and you're going to go ahead and get out the Time Gazer. So the counter trap's in hand. Next thing you're going to do, since it's the new Master Rule, you can go ahead and start your combo a different way. So Pendulums do benefit from the new Master Rule as well. Meteor Burst target the gate. And if you had Dragon Shrine and you basically just ended up discarding, you'd still have a 7 skill no matter what, but like I said, Darkworm's more optimal. Overlay those. into an absolute. Keep in mind these are both dragons, so that's already a union carrier play. This is a needle fiber play. This is like just, there's so many things you can do with this board too. This is a 3-card combo. So for example, this could be needle fiber, this could be union carrier. This can also just be an Omega, Synchro for a level 8, Cypher and Little Omega. Link these two into an IP Masquerena, summon out your Vortex, end on basically 4 interruptions, being IP, Vortex, Omega, Divine Strike. And keep in mind it's 3-card combo, so that any other 2 cards in your hand could have been extra monsters, so that IP can, basically you can just leave this as is. So let's just say you had extra monster for some reason, because you know 3-card combo, you're playing pins, you have 2 other cards in your hand. If you just had an extra monster, it'd be ridiculous. So I'm gonna show you guys all the sequencing. Well, not all. I'm gonna show you guys what I would do, because you don't. If you don't play needle fiber, you still don't have to play needle fiber, but you can make needle fiber into a 1-card Celine, but you just still don't have targets really. So what I would do is I would take these, I would synchro, or you can make a dweller. So let's say you make Omega. See how many options? That's what I'm saying with this deck. There's too many options. You can make dweller, you can make Omega. So let's just say like Omega or dweller is just gonna be there because you can make both. You can link this and this into the IP Masquerena, and obviously get out your Vortex. And so you can have IP, Dweller, Vortex plus Counter Trap. That's a 3-card combo. That's 4 interruptions. And let's say that you had 1 extra monster and you make the Dweller. You could then do this, just 1 extra monster, which you're guaranteed. You're playing Pendulums, right? So this is basically 3 cards already that puts you out. 3 forms of interruption plus the IP, which is there so that you can summon like Unicorn. You can summon out so many different things. So it's a wombo combo. It's like a 3-card wombo combo without Electromite, right? So those are engraved. So we're just like, I'm showing you guys all the different ways, because like there's a ton of ways you can do it. So like I said, if you just had 1 extra monster, which you're guaranteed because you know you have 2 other cards in your hand, you can end your board like that. So once you put your opponent under Dweller, obviously detaching the Dark Worm, you could then use the IP on your opponent's turn to link with the Dweller, the extra monster that was pin summoned, and the IP, and you can summon out your Appaloosa right there. You can summon your Appaloosa on your opponent's turn. You're going to get 3 extra negations. You're going to have your Divine Strike and your Vortex. You're not losing a Dark Ruler no more, because this deck always searches out its Counter Trap. You have a higher chance of getting your Counter Trap than your opponent does of drawing one of their 3 Dark Rulers. So if we take the same board, because keep in mind I was talking about Union Carrier and things, so we have the Absolute with these. So those are back in the extra deck. This is back in the extra monster zone. I remember harmonizing was somewhere. So like we have it like this, right? So Counter Trap, boom. These are both dragons. So a cool thing that you could do also, like I said, you can make needle fiber with these 2. So you can make needle fiber, summon something out, for example. You don't have to. I'm just saying, like, I'm just showing you guys all the different ways. Or you could also turn these into a B cop. So let's say this is a B cop. You could turn those into a B cop, and then you could link these. Or you can still do IP Masquerena. It's totally up to you. Link those into Union Carrier, because it requires 2 monsters with the same type of attribute. These are both dragons. Absolute's a dragon, and so is Dark Worm. So you summon out Vortex, and you can target a monster on your field and equip a monster, right? That has the basically, let me show you guys. It says from your hand or your deck with a name or original type. This is a dragon. Vortex is a dragon. So this is another way you can end your board. See how many different options you have? You equip the sword to Vortex because he's a dragon and that's a dragon. Your opponent doesn't have an extra deck anymore. You have this to stop Dark Ruler no more. You already have 2 negations on board. And on your opponent's turn, you can then take the IP and the Union Carrier. You can link into Avermax. You can link into Appaloosa. You can summon Unchained Abomination so that when you negate and destroy with the Vortex, you can pop another card in face pop. You see all the options. Do you guys understand what I'm saying now? You guys get, like, there's really no specific board you have to end on. It's just totally up to you and your preference. So I'm just showing you guys every, like, good possibility. And I'm not going to do the needle fiber thing because that's just going to take way too long. Let me check the timer. Oh my goodness, we're already 30 minutes in. I'm going to have to do a part 2 for this video, you guys. Definitely going to have to do a part 2 because once I get past 33 minutes, it's going to cut and start a whole brand new video. But thank you guys so much for watching just this alone. I know I only showed 2 combos so far. I didn't know it's going to take that long, but not only did I show you those 2 combos, but I showed you all the different ways you can make ending boards. If I only showed you one board, you would think that that combo is designed to only make that specific board, but that's never the case with Pendulums. It's all, the sky's like the limit. The options are based on your player preference, your extra deck, and your sequencing and your mind, you know, the head you have on your shoulders. A smarter player or a higher level skill, like a player with higher level skill will be like, okay, my board will be susceptible to super poly. Even though my counter trap stops dark roll and more, my board will be susceptible to super poly. So let's go ahead and make this board, which is actually incredible. You know, this can be used as link material the turn you summon it, but on your opponent's turn, that's a different story, right? So I would go for that board before I went for the other one, which was still good. It's Dweller, IP, plus the Vortex and the counter trap. So it's like you get more interruptions out of it, just an extra. But just by taking that one extra step, you now, that any board that I showed you guys, you now are not susceptible to Dark Ruler no more or Super Poly. And that's just incredible by itself. That's just amazing, you guys. Like, it really is. This deck is broken. Like, it really is. So thank you guys so much for watching this combo tutorial. God bless you guys. Make good choices. Don't hurt your brain cells. Stay tuned for future content. You guys have a beautiful day. I'm going to say a quick little prayer. Like I said, I will do a part 2. I will definitely have to. But it just can't be, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see when I do it. But yeah. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Jesus. Thy kingdom come, and thy will be done on earth, just as it is in heaven. Please give us this day our daily bread, Lord, and please forgive us of our debts as we forgive our debtors. Excuse me. And lead us not to temptation, Father, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the glory, and the power forever. In the mighty name of Jesus, I pray. Thank you, Yahweh. Amen. All right, you guys. Deuces as well, yo.